Namaste from Deepesh. Hello to the wonderful Dynamics 365 and Power Platform community. Today we are going to learn something new in my series Power Integration, another Power Automate scenario, volume 2. We are going to run text-based AI model actions on nodes right from our Dataverse. I'm going to create certain nodes from Sales Hub, and then we are going to see how they are going to process and then going to give us an output on Teams. So let us talk about the first scenario that we are going to do in our AI model for text, right? And how it is going to be leveraged. So this is a customer, Dynamicity Private Limited, and I am basically putting in a note for the customer based on my recent interaction with them, just for anybody else to refer in. So this was a very good interaction, and I'm going to put that note in. So if I click here, I can quickly click note, or we now have the added ability here to put a note, right? I'm just going to call it customer call feedback, and this is a positive feedback that I'm trying to give. Wonderful customer to have and always a delight to be on call with. So I'm just adding this particular note. So if you see over here in this particular Teams chat ping that I have been projecting behind me, this particular text that was posted is now posted over here, and the overall sentiment is coming over as positive, right? I could have made an intelligent decision or routing based on this. In the next example, I'm taking an example of a negative scenario, and I'm saying that the customer is pretty annoyed at our services over here. So let me just correct this typo from my end. Yeah, so very annoyed with our services, adding a note over here. So as you can sense, it has now noted down the sentiment for this particular comment on Teams channel here, and the net sentiment for this particular one is negative. Now let's see how this one was generated. So here is that particular analysis, or the one which is using the analyze your positive or negative sentiment in text, a AI model based step. And let's quickly see how this flow or Power Automate Cloud flow was created. Whenever a note is being created, I'm triggering this particular flow. What I'm doing, I'm converting HTML to text because we are using the new version of notes which can take different tags. Rich text editor is available. So I'm taking that description from the note text and converting it into a text. Thereafter, I'm passing it over by giving a language to the AI model based connector for a checking the particular negative or positive sentiment. So that is the plain text from the last step, and it is important to pass plain text over here, and then overall just passing on the node description, and I'm also passing in the node sentiment. Now this sentiment can be neutral, positive or negative. Based on this, you can do any intelligent routing as and when you require. Okay, let's look at another example now. In this particular example, I'm trying to show the text analysis over another key thing, which are phrases, right? If I have a lot of phrases, what I can do. So if you see behind me, I have taken a big kind of chunk of text for a customer feedback on one of the customer, and just adding that note in here. As you can see and notice behind me, lot of key phrases from this customer are coming through, right? The ones which are appearing over in the line, arrow keys, GPU balance, etc. Right? Lot of this kinds of pings are coming over. So the key phrases are being taken over and they are being projected here over to me. So how did this one happen? This is another kind of classification that is available, which we are going to understand now. The first two steps are almost similar to the last example, so I'm not going into that particular case. I'm just trying to focus on the steps or the flow steps that are totally different from the last one. In this particular one, I'm using extract the key phrases from text, and then based on the results from that, I'm continuously looping around and posting the phrases in my Teams channel, right? So that is the way you can identify key phrases. In certain scenarios, we want to do routing, or we want to identify certain key scenarios from the customer in the text, in the communication, or any other way that we are interacting. You can very well go ahead and use this particular step and model. Let's look at one another example to have our understanding around integration of AI models specifically for text processing with Dataverse using Power Automate. In this last example, we are going to detect the language, right? What language this particular comment has been made in. So I've just used a simple example in English. Let us detect language, and I'm going to add this note. As you can see behind me, the language here is clearly marked with EN, which is English. Let's see how this one was built. In this particular flow, I've used detect the language being used in the text example. First two steps again similar to the first example I showed. And this one is again looping through, and what I'm doing in this particular loop, I am basically just posting the language in a loop, right? There can be a variety of languages that might be available, and that language code will be pinged over. Now sometimes we want to make this kind of a intelligent decision routing also based on AI model on my text. You can easily use Power Automate to achieve those kinds of complex requirements as well. Thank you for watching my video. Hope this was a great learning for all of you. Stay safe. Power 365 as usual, guys.